What is going on, people? We are back here today on Showdown, and actually I lied, we're on Smogon forums. Now, we're going to be going over the responses to this survey they put out last week that was basically asking people to give their responses and opinions on the Gen 9 OU metagame currently. So Joey did a video on this actually last week where he went over the survey and basically what it was talking about. And that was a great video, so go check that out if you haven't already. So you can kind of consider this video to be the follow-up to that, because finally the results are in. So they said that they got 4,000 individual responses, and basically there were so many questions included on this survey talking about Terastallization. If you would ban it, how would you change it? Would you restrict it? Whatnot. So they have a bunch of stuff we're going to go over. They got a bunch of different stuff on Pokemon as well. Annihilape, Chi-Yu, Cyclizar, the list goes on. So this was really detailed. 4,000 is a decent amount for a sample size, I guess. I mean, you're never going to get as many people as you really want for these types of surveys. And when you think about how many OU games are probably going to happen since the first 30 days of what's it called, Scarlet and Violet, it's probably like 1 million plus OU games on Showdown. I guarantee it. But either way, let's hop right into this. I felt like it would be great to go over this. Lets us all, kind of generate an opinion. See how the player base as a whole feels about this metagame. If they like it, if they don't, what kind of things should be changed competitively. And yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe my opinion might change throughout this video as well. You never know. But definitely do let me know in the comments below after you watch this what you think, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. And definitely give this video a big like too. We're trying to hit 2K likes by tomorrow. I love making these types of discussion videos. So thank you all for the support. And yeah, let's hop right into it. So let's look at the first question. Do you feel any tiering action at all is needed on the topic of Terastallization? So 38.5% of people say no tiering action is needed, and 61.5% say yes, tiering action is needed. So we can say approximately 3 in 5 battlers believe that we do need to do something about Terastallization, and that in its current form, it is not balanced. So of the qualified, so underline under qualified, anybody could answer this survey, but there was a option at the end where you had to say if you were top 250 on the ladder, or if you're in like the current round 3 or round whatever of the Scarlet Violet OU tournament that they're having on site right now. So top 250 on ladder or made round 2 of the No John's release tournament. So I guess this is like their little qualifier for now. I mean, ladder rank is not really a qualifier for being good or not, but whatever. They got to do what they can to sort of filter out like the nonsense responses, so I kind of get it. Either way, doesn't matter. 62% of people on average favor acting on Terastallization, while 38% do not. This sample consisted of 143 people and was heavily vetted due to abundance of repeat responses, people claiming they qualified despite not having ults within the top 250 at any point, and people claiming they made the 3rd round of the tournament despite not doing so or not even having a forum account. See what I mean? Scrubs are out of control. Scrubs will give their opinion no matter what and then just straight up lie. It'll be like, what are your qualifications? My qualifications are fuck you. Let me know what's up. Not saying that you shouldn't give your opinion, but you can't just lie about this shit. Either way, 143 is not a lot of people. So I'll take this with a grain of salt regardless. I mean, this isn't even that much of a majority, right? I think that if you're going to do any tiering decision, you would need like a 66% to 75% type of majority. This seems a little bit too little to me, so for now I don't really care too much about this statistic. I mean, yeah, like it's like what I said earlier, 3 out of 5 people believe that you should do something about Terra, and 2 out of 5 believe you shouldn't. We need higher odds. We need 66% in my opinion, so I don't care about this. Do you feel any tiering action at all is needed on the topic of Terastallization? So this is pretty cool. We see that 57% of people believe no tiering action whatsoever is needed, while 43% believe that tiering action is needed. We see that if you consider every single person. This is entirely unvetted due to the fact, blah, 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 dozens of duplicates. So they do say that this is not really censored out, but whatever. You're never going to be able to get a purely 100% competitive response regardless. 56% believe that no tiering action is needed versus this. So that's what I mean. This is like close regardless of the way you look at it. Look at this. If you take everybody's responses, 56% of people believe nothing should happen, as opposed to 38% believing nothing should happen if you take the high ladder. Tiering action, when people say that it is needed for everybody, 43%. So that's still a good chunk of people believe that tiering action is needed. Even if you take the whole sample size, it's still a good amount of people believe something needs to be done. There's about an 18% difference between the two if you take just the top 143. That being said, even this, there's no super majority. Just like this barely has a super majority. 60 to 38 is a little bit, heavier than 56 to 43, but not by much, by like 5%. Regardless, I don't think either of these polls are strong enough to tip in either way, which makes me feel like we just give it time. which I guess would mean no tiering action is not needed. I'm not saying tiering action is not needed. I'm personally of the belief that when Pokemon Home comes out, Terastallize is probably going to go to a point of no return. I think that when all these Pokemon return, Terra is going to become overpowered. Because that's the thing with a metagame. When you have too much variation, it takes away from competition. If we have fucking 600 Mons, right, and we got so many... When Home comes out, say we get 50, 60 new Mons that are viable in OU, right? Say that's what happens. And they can all Terra into something else. That type of variation is not healthy for a game. So I'm pretty sure when Home comes out, that's when Terastallization is probably going to go over the edge. And they're going to have to figure out what they want to do with it. But until that point, I think they just leave Terra in its current form. See, at some games, it's pretty annoying, but I say we give it time. Well, but my opinion's a little biased. Because I do believe when Home comes out, it's going to be very hard to defend Terastallize. Because there's just going to be too much shit. Like, for now, you guys know what you're going to run into. It's like, oh, okay, I got my normal D-Knight counter. I got my Terra Fire Chi-Yu counter. But it doesn't matter. When Ice Kartana comes back and all this other shit comes back, trust me, you can get blown away. You can get blown away, and you're going to be mad that there's these many options out on the field. For now, it's great. We don't have too many good mons to begin with. So, Terra is a little, it's a little restricted to begin with. But when Home comes out, that's when it's going to be a big shebang, and we're going to see what happens. So, going past that, let me see. For normal surveys, I'm in blah, blah, blah. This is, okay. I don't really care about this. This is too much information. Sorry, I can't read. Please note that if any action does happen, if it will be done via public suspect, not council vote. Yeah, obviously, it'll be done versus public suspect. The follow-up question was as follows. If you answered yes, do you believe it should be restricted or outright banned? If you answered yes, do you... Okay, blah, blah, blah. 47% of people believe it should be outright banned, and 52% believe it should be restricted. Wow, that is really 50-50. Huh. So this is everybody. Wow, that is actually interesting. I wouldn't have expected 47.5, and this is all people. This is not just the top 143, all right? So this is everybody. Everybody believes that. So this is like basically 50-50, right? You got 2.6% disparity. That's whatever. This is basically 50-50 on people believing if it should be restricted or outright banned. You know, I really didn't think 47.5% people would want it banned. I thought a lot of people would want to keep this around. That sort of just makes me think that people are kind of stuck in their ways. When you think about singles tiering in the past, we just get rid of it. That's what we just get rid of it. We don't strip it of its mechanics most of the time. 99% of the time, we just straight up ban the mechanic in singles laddering. I'm saying we because I be playing this shit. I don't really be. I'm not really the head. I'm not the puppet master. Anyways, the point is, this being 50-50 is pretty cool. But I don't know. I really thought we would have a higher amount unrestricted. This is actually really surprising to me. So let me know in the chat below, in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you agree with it being outright banned? What side do you guys stand on with this? This is actually what I'm really interested in now that I'm reading this. This is probably the number one thing so far that I read that I'm interested in. Why do so many people want to outright ban rather than restricted? Why not? Why is that the case? I don't know how I feel currently. I like Terra in its current form. I'm not opposed to a restriction. Sometimes I go back and forth. I just think, man, Terra's fun, but if they restrict it, then it's going to be so boring. Why don't they just ban it then? But, like, that's like a gut, like, knee-jerk reaction and, like, just being angry for no reason, as competitive Pokemon fans usually are. I think that if they do the suspect test, I mean, it's not a if they do. I'm a certain Terra's going to get suspect tested down the line, like everybody is. But yeah, even if, like, when it does happen, I think it's going to be restricted, not outright banned. I don't know. It's a cool mechanic. Restricting it's okay. They can do the VGC route with the open Terra, and the Terra Captain is something they do for draft as well. So these are all potential options that they can incorporate, but it's going to be very hard for 6v6 to figure it out. There is no metagame like 6v6. This shit is fucking weird. So it's going to be tough. I mean, VGC always figures it out, which is something I actually admire, right? I mean, VGC is at Nintendo's mercy too, though, because Nintendo does create a rule set, but obviously there's tournaments that happen off Nintendo. That's just the video game championships. They have so many different types of VGC tournaments. So I really do like what VGC is doing, where they just keep on testing different stuff. Right now, I believe they're doing the show team as well as your Terra's types. So we'll see how that works for them. I definitely want to see how VGC's experience passes on to singles, because there's no doubt about it that as VGC continues to figure out what they're going to do with Terra, singles will probably take some inspiration from that. Of course, the metagames are still very different, but at the core, it's still Mons. So we'll see. I am very curious to see what happens with VGC, what prominent VGC players think, how their opinions change, and that kind of thing, because I'm pretty sure VGC players are pretty on and off about it too. Like, I've seen some players think you got to show Terra, you got to show team, and then some of them think, hell no, this is like dumb, and it, you know, it favors the wrong player. So it'll be cool. But anyway, back to singles. Let's see here. Of the 53, blah, blah, blah. If you answered yes, do you believe it should be restricted or outright banned? So, of the people that said it should be restricted, if you answered yes, do you believe it should be restricted or outside banned? So 74% favor restricting it. Okay. Well, 26% favored outright banning over restricting. I want to note that over 200 people failed to follow instructions. No tiering action. Illiteracy at all-time high in the Pokemon community. But this is a little more heartwarming, I guess you can say. Restricting Terastallization over outright banning it is what I would definitely want every single time. For now, at least, we'll see. If it does get out of hand and restricting turns into a toxic meta, then I guess that they would just test again, banning it. Here's what I think would happen. Here's my prediction with Terastallize, right? And I really don't know what happens. I'm not on the OU Council. I don't have no plug or nothing. I don't know what happens. This is just my prediction. So I think for now, we'll end up having a Terastallize suspect test in 7 to 14 days, right? So a week to 2 from now. We'll end up having some type of suspect test start happening. It'll be a long suspect test. I believe that the OU Council has already stated that this will be a longer suspect test because Terastallize is so weird as a mechanic and we haven't had something like this before. And then I believe that it's not at a risk of getting outright banned right now. I believe it's just going to get restricted. Then I think when Home comes out, they'll take the restricted Terra that we're working with and they're going to outright ban it. That's my prediction for now. But we'll see. They could find even another way to restrict it when Home comes out. But we'll see. All right, so whatever, 74%. The final question on Terastallization is as follows. If you answer restricted, which of the following restrictions do you find to be the most appropriate? So this is pretty crazy. There's a hell of a lot of options here. God damn. Ban stab Terastallization. So 3.4% of people believe that you should just straight up ban stab Terra. Interesting. I can tell that they got fucking blasted by Chiampao and Chiyu, Roaring Moon, Dragapult. Like, that's the only reason you'd want to ban stab Terastallize. Only 3% care about this. Ban non-stab Terastallize. 17% of people, so quite a big chunk, believe that you should ban non-stab Terra. Okay, I could see that. So these people are they're on the other end of it. They don't like it when Skeledirge turns into a typing that it shouldn't be. They don't like it when Ting-Lu turns into a fairy type. They don't like it when fucking Glamora turns into a flying type or Garchomp turns into a ghost type, which I understand. You know, a lot of times non-stab Terra can flip the game immediately. Dragonite with normal type is really, really annoying. Defensively, I think defensive Terra can be a lot more annoying than offensive Terra in a lot of situations. Because of Pokemon Home, like I talked about earlier in the vid, we know a lot of the Terra offensive guys that we're already up against. You know, Pult is most likely going to be its dual stab if it's specs. Almost always it's going to be its dual stab if it's specs. If you see Chiyu, Terra-wise, you're going to get its dual stabs, or it might be grass, fighting, or fairy. But all of those 3 Terra types are rare, and regardless, it doesn't really matter. You already know. Dragonite is going to be normal. There's a 5% chance it's going to be fire and have fire punch, but more often than not, it's normal. You got Mence. If it's Choice Banded, it's going to be Terra Dark, or it could be Terra Dragon, but Dark is obviously better. And then if it's Booster Energy, it's going to be Terra Flying. So because of the limited decks we have right now, it's not too hard to know what's going to Terra. Like, right? It's offensively, at least. Defensive is where shit gets tough, because you can lose your counter, or not your counter, you can lose your check to a defensive Mon on your offensive team because they Terastallize into something else. A lot of times, that's what happens with Skeledirge. People go into their Mon, their ground type, thinking, all right, man, I just need this chip. I'm not going to kill Skeledirge because nothing kills Skeledirge, right? And they know that they're not going to do that, but they think that they can get enough damage to where their offense team can overwhelm it later. Then Skeledirge turns into a fairy type on their Earthquake and burns them, and they're like, fuck, this was my only chance. So defensive Terra can be really hard in that situation, which is why I definitely understand why 5 times as many people want to ban non-stab Terra as opposed to people banning stab Terra. Then we got 1 Terra use per team. So this is the second biggest option after other. 1 Terra use per team, 18.6%. So still pretty similar to ban non-stab Terra. At first, I was thinking that this is cool. If you have 1 Terra user per team, then it's like a lot less of a risk. And it kind of is more like a Z-move type thing. But I don't know. I'm trying to think right now how that would kind of work. Like, I guess it would just kind of be the same as a Z-move. And even then, it's pretty obvious. Like, it's cool. Let me see the other ones, and then I'll come back to this. Ban non-stab Terastallization. Wait, isn't that both here? Oh, I don't know what the full version is. Fuck. Why don't you guys have the full thing loaded up? Is it the same as this? No, bro. Where's the full thing? Damn it. We're gonna be right back. I'm going to the Pokemon MD survey and we're gonna see. Okay, so I checked the survey and for some reason there wasn't any other option. So I think it really was just supposed to be ban non-stab Terra, which would mean that actually a way higher percentage of people want to ban non-stab Terra compared to anything else except for other. Wow. So this is almost what, 12% plus 17 is 29 minus 0.2. So wow. Holy moly. 28.8% of people would like to ban non-stab Terra. That's quite interesting. I guess that type flipping is really annoying when you don't, like when it's not their stab type, because if a mon turns into its stab type, it's still in essence the same shit. We were playing Yu, right? On Joe's channel the other day, and he recorded it and posted. Go check it out if you haven't already. But we were using Water Tauros. The Vaporeon turned into an electric type, and it was just fucking terrible for us. You couldn't hit it with water type moves because of water absorb. It now resists electric moves. It resisted flying moves. It was a mess. It was a mess. It was very hard for our team to beat it. We had a rain team, but bro turned into an electric type. We're not doing nothing to him, you know. It was pretty interesting. Non-stab Terastallize really does bring quite a lot of crazy variation to the game. So I do understand for now why people want to just get rid of it if there was to be a restriction and keeping Terra left in the game. One Terra user and other. So they think that there should be one Terra user and some other type shit. And then 34% of people believe that all around they have their own opinion on Terra. So overall, it still seems like we're very divided on what should be going on with Terastallize. You know, people really don't know. The majority wise, people, you know, they'd say that they'd ban the non-stab Terra if they could pick, is what I gather from these responses. But that's really just the prompts that they were given. So I don't know, this doesn't really tell us too much, besides that people do want some shit to go down. But I don't know, I think we're gonna see restriction first. If you answer restricted, which of the following restrictions do you find to be the most appropriate? Oh, my blind ass. Okay. Ban non-stab terastallization. Okay, 28.5%. Math is not mathing in here. Ban stab terastallization, 12.2%. Limit terastallization to one possible user per team. What, did I waste my time reading this shit? Fuck. Alright. Limit terastallization to one possible user per team. So everybody wants that shit. 49%. And then others. Yeah, so everybody wants Terastallize to become Z moves is basically what I gather from this. If we're going to limit Terastallize to one possible user per team, it really is just a Z move like mechanic, which I do agree with is a lot more fair competitively. I'm not going back and forth on if Terastallize is fun. I think Terastallize is a blast. But competitively speaking, yes, I would say that limiting it to one is probably more competitive because there's less variance. That being said, I think this is just superior to all the other ones. Because you don't want to strip away... Nobody wants to strip away what a mon can Terastallize into. That's kind of dumb in my opinion. If you can only turn into your stab types, we're playing adaptability to the metagame, which we already have said many times in past videos when we were debating what to do with Terastallize. So I do not like only turning into your stab moves. I thought about it at first. I was like, this could be okay, but then I was like, fuck that. It's just going to become adaptability to the metagame. Like, everything is just going to turn into its type and fire off double strong, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Fire, Blast, like whatever. That's boring. Then you ban stab Terastallization, right? So that you can just absolutely not get, like, super strong that way. Yeah, so I totally get why people would rather limit Terastallize to one mon than straight up ban mons from turning into certain typings, because that's kind of lame. You want to be able to turn into random shit. I get that for some guys it's annoying, like Annihilape turns into a water type. I think that's very frustrating. I thought Espathra was a lot more broken last week, but metagame has kind of upgraded to Espathra. Also, I've been using a lot of Skeledirge and Tinglu, and we smoke that Espathra pack every time when we see that, and I got those two mons, so it just depends. So that's going to be that for Terastallization. For the most part, it looks like people do want something to be done, but we're still pretty half and half. Like, even though people want something done, it's still not a huge-ass amount of people that want something done, right? Of the top ladder players, 61% want something done. And of everybody, 43% want something done. So either way, there's still not a super majority. I thought there would, like, I was hoping there would at least be 66% one way or the another. But it is also kind of cool, right? It's been 3 weeks of new metagame. More than 3 weeks. More than 3 weeks? Just a little bit over 3 weeks, yes. So, of new metagame, right? New game completely. And we're still figuring it out with Terra. We'll see what happens. Let's keep it pushing, because we do got some Pokemon that they're going over as well. So the general response is blah, blah, blah. That's how we Terastallize. Regarding Pokemon, we had questions on 5 individual Pokemon in alphabetical order. The scale for ranking each Pokemon was provided and as follows. 1 indicates balanced, 3 indicates potentially ban-worthy, and 5 indicates ban-worthy. Let's delve into the responses on each. Annihilape. On a scale of 1 to 5, how do you feel about Annihilape? The average qualified response of 143 responses was roughly a 3.5 out of 5, and over 110 of the over 110 of the 143 total responses were they fumbling like me were 3 or higher on the scale. So that's pretty interesting. So I was part of the qualified because I had all at the top 250. The Fallow Penalt we got number 1 with, and then also I'm in the tournament. I'm in like round 4 right now, which I'll be playing tomorrow. So everybody, wish me luck. Playing against a super powerful battler, one of my good buddies. Anyways, back to Annihilape. So I think for Annihilape, I put a 4 because in current metagame with Terra, I put a 4 or a 5 because in current meta with Terra, this shit's cheap. I don't know. I think Annihilape is less broken now than I did a week ago, which maybe ladder and the teams I'm using are changing. I don't know, I just see less Annihilape. I'm spamming a lot more Specs Chi-Yu and Ban Chien-Pao and shit like that, which can muscle through with the right Terra and whatnot. More so Chi-Yu. Chi-Yu turning into a fire type or turning into whatever type is pretty nice versus Annihilape, because Annihilape can't kill it unless that Rage Fist is mad boosted. But 3.5 out of 5 is pretty hefty, right? Because 3 indicates potentially ban-worthy and 5 indicates ban-worthy. So this thing will get a suspect test at some point is my prediction, because 3.5 out of 5 is pretty high, right? Very few people think it's a 1. 25 or so people believe it's what? Oh, no, they have it right here. Okay. And this is everybody all together. Wow, a lot of people don't like Annihilape. This is everybody. Everybody 3.08 out of 5. So if everybody believes it's potentially ban-worthy, I believe Annihilape is worthy of a suspect test. This is pretty big, you know, because people don't like banning mons in general. But this is hefty, right? 31% of people believe it's whatever, and then everybody else, 69% of people believe that no, something must be done about the menace. Interesting. Yeah, so people do believe something should be done about the menace that is Annihilape. Personally, like I said, guys, I would be fine with an Annihilape suspect test. I think that shit's really annoying. Annihilape or Rage Fist, whatever you want to do. I wrote in the other comments of this because when I did the survey, I just did it on my own time in like 5 minutes on my phone when I saw it. I think I was on the subway. Either way, when I did it, I I put, ban Rage Fist. The shit is cheap. I remember I definitely wrote that. Rage Fist is cheap. But people have different opinions, so we'll see. Because one of my bros, I respect him a lot, big tournament player. He told me, nah, bro, it's not that tough. And I was like, well, we'll see. People go back and forth on it. I think CBB also said that he doesn't find Annihilape to be too terrible, but he has his own opinions that are bullshit, so forget him. Anyways, continue. That's my boy CBB, though. The GOAT. Chi-Yu. On a scale of 1 to 5, how do you feel about Chi-Yu? 3.5 out of 5, similar to Annihilape. So we look at this guy's stats. More people believe... Wait, do they? Oh, no. Actually, yeah, more people believe that Chi-Yu is scarier than Annihilape. 25.2 and 11.4. 26.5, 30. So, yeah, people in general definitely are more scared of Chi-Yu. Not surprised. This thing is bullshit. It's very, very, very hard to beat. This is the new Tapu Lele. This is Tapu Lele on crack. Like, this is literally the Trend Bologna sandwich is kicked in and the shit went to the moon. There's no other way to describe what this Pokemon does. It's a beast. It's a beast beyond, like, explanation. Chi-Yu is the nastiest mon in the metagame right now. Joe just put out that great video saying why it's the best mon. The most used is Gholdengo by a good amount, but Chi-Yu is like the best. This is the best attacker in the meta. Very easy to use. Extremely high reward, low risk. You only have to use your stab moves. It's just too easy, right? His stab moves are all great too. You can use Lava Plume to fish burn really well on Roaring Moon and the likes. You can Terastallize, go for, what's it called? Terra Fairy, Fighting, or Grass, all of which are great options. Grass completely cooks Dondozo and cooks Water Ape. It also destroys Garganackle too. Fairy and Fighting, on the other hand, are able to destroy Roaring Moon and opposing Chi-Yu respectively. But yeah, Chi-Yu is just very, very easy to use. I'm not really surprised that it's this far up in terms of people feeling that it's ban-worthy. Suspect test is coming for this guy. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Like, there's no doubt, in my opinion. I say it all the time. It's just a matter of time. Annihilape, on the other hand, like I said, Rage Fist, I think they could just get rid of Rage Fist, and it's very obviously that Annihilape is not broken without Rage Fist. I don't want them to kill this mon. I don't want this to go to Ubers. Annihilape has an awesome design, awesome stats. The typing is beast, right? Like I said before, they took Marshadow away from us in 5 minutes when it was released in OU because it was very clearly broken. I don't want the other ghost fighting guy to get taken away. And there's cool sets, man. People run the fucking Final Gambit rocks. taunt. You know, you could do different shit with it. So I really hope Annihilape stays and Rage Fist is what gets the boot if they decide to do a suspect test. But I am of the opinion that Rage Fist is broken. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Rage Fist. The average general response is roughly 3.14 out of 5 for what? Oh, Cyclizar. Oh, wait, what? Oh, that was a general response. Sorry, I was reading wrong. Okay. Bicycle. The average qualified response of the 143 responses was roughly a 3.3 out of 5. And over 100 of the 143 total responses was a 3 or higher. Okay, so overall, Ape is 110, this is 105, and this is 100. Cyclizar is 100. So the hierarchy is very clear. Ape, stronger than Chi-Yu, stronger than Cyclizar in terms of ban worthiness. So Cyclizar is here with a 3.3 out of 5. Ooh, this is actually interesting to see. This is actually really interesting to see. This is basically neck and neck with Chi-Yu and the gang. Like, a lot of people think this thing is suspect test worthy still. Look how many people gave it a 5. Look how many people gave it a 5. 19.5%. Ape only got 11.4% and Chi-Yu got a 13.9%. Bike got a whole 19.5%. I believe on the survey I wrote, or I put 4 or 5 for Cyclizar, specifically because of Shed Tail. Cyclizar itself is not broken. Stats are nothing crazy. This is like a discount Tornadus T at home, right? This shit stats are nothing unique whatsoever. It's whatever, honestly. It's really just that Shed Tail is an overpowered move. I do believe Shed Tail is broken. Shed Tail is stupid. It's a no-skill bullshit move that you just switch right out. The mon is ridiculously fast, faster than the majority of the metagame, so it's very easy to do. It has Regenerator, which again is very cheap because you just only lose 17% every time you Shed Tail it out because of Regenerator recovering all that. And in general, I just don't think it's fair. You shouldn't be able to switch your mon out with the sub up to another Pokemon. It creates very toxic mind games. I don't like Shed Tail whatsoever. It is just baton pass the return. It doesn't matter that it doesn't pass boosts or anything like that. It doesn't matter. Passing a sub is so overpowered, especially in a metagame with Terra too, where things just turn into different typings. One turn is all you need. And I absolutely hate Cyclizar plus Grimmsnarl teams, right? Regardless of if it's broken or not, I don't like skillless shit. I hate it. That's not indicative of a skillful metagame, right? I really don't like that stuff. So Cyclizar running around Shed Tailing it up with Grimmsnarl setting up Reflect Light Screen and then Parting Shot to it is just the highest form of no skill gameplay. So yes, I would love Shed Tail to just straight up get banned. I don't care for a suspect test. They can just straight up ban Shed Tail if it came down to me. We'll see though. We'll see. I guess I do have a pretty harsh opinion on Bicycle. Just get rid of Shed Tail. I don't like it. I do think Rage Fist is pretty broken too. But Rage Fist, I'm totally open to a suspect test. Because, I mean, yeah, I have friends that also tell me, like, Annihilape is not that broken. And I don't know. In general, sometimes I do lose drip to Annihilape. But, like, my last couple videos and streams, we've been able to pack Annihilape pretty easily. So, metagame does evolve around it. Chi-Yu test is definitely coming. I'm not surprised if... I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen. More than I'd be surprised if it does. But, yeah. As for Cyclizar, I hate Shed Tail. Very unfair, uncompetitive move. Doesn't really have a place in this metagame. Espathra. So Espathra's at a 3 out of 5. Interestingly enough, a lot of people are like, no, Espathra is no type of threat. Some people think it's hella bullshit. And then... Okay, so Espathra's definitely heavily on the... like more than 50% of people believe Espathra is not that scary whatsoever. Now, last week I was like, oh, woe is me. I keep getting packed up by dual screens plus Empanada. It's just too much. It's tough. I'll say that right now. It's very hard to beat. Like, it's not even just tough. It's hard with those screens up. And the fact that it can Terra type into a Fairy type or a Fighting type. I've seen one guy run Terra Fire, which is kind of weird. I don't think it's that good. But it's fun. And it's probably not bad. It's just not good compared to the other two options. Regardless, what you're going to see the most from Espathra is Terra Fairy or Terra Fighting with the Dazzling Gleam or Terra Blast Fighting. That shit has perfect cover with stored power. It is really annoying with screens, right? Because speed boost keeps on making your stored power stronger and stronger. It's not hard to get a Calm Mind up and roost off the damage. I was playing my bro the other day. I had Adamant Heavy Duty Boots Chimpao. My Icicle Crash did only 52 to Espathra because he was max defense, max HP. He didn't even have screens up. It just only did 52. So he had already gotten 2 speed boosts, so he was faster than me. So I was fucked. He just roosted up. But then I haxed him with like para and shit like that, so I won. But anyway, if I didn't get lucky, he would have won me. He would have won versus me easily. Like, he would have won versus me very, very easily. So the bulky Espathra set can be really annoying. Even without screens, it can sweep a lot of teams straight up. It beats Unaware because stored power goes through Unaware. However, Torch Song guy, Skeledirge, can pack this thing pretty easily because it goes through its Unaware. right? Like, because of Unaware, it goes through all the Calm Mind boosts. You just torch into Hex. You do have to predict the Fairy Terra correctly, but on average, Skeledirge is favored versus Espathra. And people are getting put on to how good Skeledirge is as this meta has continued, so I understand. This thing being low as it is. Yeah, I think I kind of agree. As for now, Espathra might be broken, but everything, or not broken. Well, it could be broken, but it could be suspect test worthy. But as of currently, I don't care about Espathra. Other shit is way more prominent to me, so I have changed my mind on Espathra. What I thought was very clearly suspect test worthy. I think we need to give this shit time. I don't give a fuck about Espathra compared to the other threats that are looming currently. I think those definitely take precedence. Next up, we have Gholdengo, aka the most used mon, aka 33 or 32.5% usage currently in the metagame, aka almost on 1 in 3 teams. Outrageous. We look at Gholdengo, and this is definitely different than Pathra. About 35-ish% of people believe it's only a 1 or 2, and mad heads believe that something needs to be done about it. We got 16% saying it's 5, meaning ban the shit. 22.8 saying that 4, meaning they basically want it to be tested and they're probably leaning towards ban. This, when I see 22.8%, this is how I read 4. How I read 4. I read 4 as I want it suspect tested, and if I was gonna get requirements for the test, I would vote ban. And I see 5 as people saying just ban it, fuck a suspect test. And I see 3 as people saying it's weird and we should do something about it. That's how I see it. And then 1 and 2 are like, 1 is like, no, you're all pussies, it's not broken. 2 is, it's not that bad, but like I kind of get it and I feel for all y'all who lose. That's basically, I basically broke down what these all mean. So 4 and 5 in my opinion are basically people who do just want it gone. That's actually pretty good for Gholdengo. Not good as in it's good for my man Gholdengo, but it's high. It's high for Gholdengo. A lot of people want this thing gone. Damn near 40% want something done about it, which I understand. The ability is very, very polarizing. This makes balance a bitch. I don't like a pure hyper offense metagame myself either. I don't like running into Chi-Yu plus Great Tusk plus Roaring Moon plus Valiant plus Gholdengo Scarf every single game. It's not indicative of skillful meta. A skillful meta needs to have all play styles working in the same way and having the same level of viability. That means stall needs to be good too. Absolutely, it needs to be good. Otherwise, the metagame can't be healthy. We can't have an overarching style. You know, people hated in Gen 8 how good balance and stall teams were, which is fair. They were better on average than offense. However, as time went on, metagame adapted to it. People started making those Rillaboom hyper offense teams with, you know, Garchomp in the back, Blaziken in the back, that kind of thing. Metagame always adapts. So we'll have to give it time. But right now, yeah, we are in a hyper offensive and just an offense leaning metagame all around. Those things do kind of have it in a chokehold. We'll see though. I do believe that Annihilape, specifically Rage Fist, that's going to be a test that comes out soon. Of course, we still have all the Terra stuff. Still don't know what Smogon's going to do with that, but in the next week, we should be finding out because I believe they did. I believe Finch, OU tier leader, said that they're going to go through with their suspect test in the next week, possibly. And it's just going to take a while because it's unlike anything we ever had. Damn, they got hella people viewing this thread. Sheesh. Shimon. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a big like if you did. I had a blast going over all this stuff. Longer than I thought, 33 minutes, but I feel like I went over so much shit. But yeah, definitely give this video a big like, sub if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments below what you thought. Peace.